hey, if you're an Airbnb host and you're trying to figure out how much profit and cash flow your Airbnb unit might be able to produce, I want to walk you through our Airbnb cash flow calculator and run through a few different scenarios just to show you how this answer is really hard to pin down. How profitable is it being an Airbnb host? It's really hard to pin this number down because it depends on so many variables. And I'm going to show you that and really show you how you can then use this free tool. It's a free calculator. You'll be able to grab this calculator down in the description of the video below and then enter in your own assumptions and see. But I wanted to just walk through some of the common scenarios. So there's really a few different ones I want to look at. One is assuming that you have a property management firm, and that property management firm is going to take a percentage of the total rent that you collect through Airbnb, and they're going to then kind of do everything for you. They're going to manage the listing, manage the property, take care of lawn care, cleaning. They'll take care of cleaning. They'll kind of take care of everything, right? Now, you'll see ranges of taking 25 to 50%. That's a range that I just saw today, that property management companies could take 25 to 50% of the revenue if they are managing an Airbnb unit. So I'm going to use 35% as the example just for our example case here. So that's one example we're going to look at. We're going to say, okay, let's take a step down. Let's say you're managing your own unit, managing the listing, but you're hiring out someone else to clean it. So that'd be kind of that next level. Now, let's say you are doing the cleaning yourself and you are managing the unit as well, managing the listing. And then finally, I want to show you a couple more scenarios or just things that can impact the value of your cash flow and profit. So what happens when interest rates change? How big of an impact does that have? And then also, what happens when the value of your property changes? How big of an impact that can have as well. So we're going to look at these 5 different scenarios through this free calculator that we have. So I'm going to start by just showing you we have some default data that we're going to use. There's no perfect answer to say this is the average Airbnb, but we're using some reasonable data. So we're assuming that you've got a weekday daily rental rate of 125 and a weekend rate of 185. We're assuming that those rent rates are going to increase 7% a year. We're assuming that you're charging a cleaning fee to your guests of $100. So that'd be in addition to that daily rate. And then we have an estimated annual increase in the cleaning fee that you'd be charging as well. Now we have occupancy. So we found the average occupancy on AirDNA for a property that we're looking at was 58%. So we're just going to say, hey, we'll say 35% on the weekdays, 85% on the weekends for occupancy. And then in this first example, we're assuming a property management firm. So they're going to take care of the lawn care, landscaping, snow removal. They're going to take care of all of that, but we'll still be responsible for utilities, security of the security system, internet, cable, streaming services, parking, insurance costs, and probably some other miscellaneous costs. We also have an Airbnb host fee that we're paying to Airbnb of 3% and 10% taxes that we're assuming in the location that we're at. We're assuming 3 days is the average length of stay. Now, no individual cleaning costs because that's going to be taken care of in the property management fee. And then we're going to spend $10 per stay on just replenishing the consumables. And we're saying this property we bought for $250,000, and we're going to say that we started out. Maybe we bought this a little bit before when interest rates were much cheaper. So if you had an interest rate around 3% and a mortgage of $230,000, let's say you put $20,000 down, roughly, and a mortgage of $230,000, your monthly mortgage payment is going to be around $1,000 a month. Then we'll assume $100 property tax. And for right now, we're going to say no change in the property value. We're just going to keep that at 0. And we are not renting the property in this example. We own the property. And all right, the property management versus internal staff cost here. So we're saying we're not going to hire any of our own internal staff. We are going to outsource that to a property management, and they're going to take 35% of our bookings. And based on all of those assumptions now, we can get to see how things look. So you can see that we are showing a negative cash flow of $7,100 based on these assumptions. And a big chunk of that, $12,700 there for property management. So I'm just going to write this down here. So we're going to say negative $7,125 just to keep track of that. Now let's go back up and change this. So let's get rid of the property management. So we'll put 0 here, but we're going to come back and say, well, we're going to have to hire someone to clean. So maybe that costs us $100 per stay to hire someone to clean it. We come back down here. Hey, now we're like right around break even with these assumptions. Oh, but you know what we forgot is we didn't put anything in there for lawn care, landscaping, snow removal. So let's say we were going to hire somebody to do that as well for $100 a month. All right, so now let's come back down here. Yeah, so we have a net loss of $1,800 still. So I guess 1865 to be precise. All right, so now let's say we're going to self-manage the unit. We're going to do it all. So we'll take care of lawn care, landscaping, snow removal, so we'll put 0 in for that. We'll take care of the cleaning, so we'll put in 0 for that. Now we come back down. Hey, and we have a nice cash flow, $5,600, $5,650. And positive cash flow when we're kind of doing everything ourselves, okay? Now, this is assuming that we bought the property with a 3% mortgage, 30-year mortgage, and so that's where our $1,000 a month mortgage payment came in. But what happens if we were buying this property today? We're in fall of 2022 when we're recording this. The 30-year mortgage rate has gone up over 7%, and so in the U.S. And so that same loan would now be $1,500 roughly. So all things the same, we would now, just that one change in the interest rate would now make it, even if you're self-managing it, even if you're cleaning it, even if you're managing the listing, doing the lawn care, doing everything, still have a negative cash flow in that first year based on these assumptions. So we're going to say negative 349. And now the property value. So you might be wondering, when I look at these examples, I think, man, why is anybody doing this? Why is anybody operating an Airbnb business? It seems like it's hard to make money. And the real answer, at least in my opinion, the biggest thing is that this expected annual change in property value. So property values have been exploding lately, gone up significantly since COVID, but let's just say residential real estate goes up on average over a long time period, 5% a year. So if we said 5% a year is the expected annual change in the property value on a $250,000 property, when we come down here, we see this change in property value, $12,790. So when you think about the cash flow, so we actually have a negative cash flow, a small negative cash flow in this example, but once you consider the change in the value of the property as well, that's where, maybe this business starts to make some sense, because the operating the Airbnb can cover the monthly mortgage payment, and you are able to kind of break even while you own this asset and let it appreciate over time. So we can see when that property value goes up, now we're at $12,441. So that just gives you an idea of how the profitability and cash flow of an Airbnb for a single unit Airbnb host can really vary significantly based on the individual assumptions. And again, you really need to download this file, fill it out with your own assumptions based on your own estimated daily rates, occupancy levels, that sort of thing, because it's going to make a big difference. But I'm hopeful that this video is going to be helpful to you in trying to answer that question: how much can you earn as an Airbnb host, and really how much does the average Airbnb host make? Is just a hard number to pin down. So if you have any questions, leave us a comment in the comment section of the video below. And if you thought this video was helpful, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so we can share more content like this. Thanks.